we making today, Laura?
Today we're going to be making some deviled eggs in the Instant Pot. And this will be a good thing if you want to take to a barbecue or if you're having a party at home. Quick and easy to make, and everybody loves them. We're going to use the 5-5-5 method, which is we cook for 5 minutes, we do a natural release for 5 minutes, and then we're going to soak it in an ice bath for 5 minutes. So what we're going to need, obviously some eggs. I use paprika, mayonnaise, relish, mustard, salt, and pepper.
Is there a preference on any type of mayonnaise that you should use? Duke's versus Hellmann's?
I have a preference towards Duke's. I like it better. I think it tastes better. Their recipe uses more egg yolks than the whole egg, so it gives it a better flavor, in my opinion. All right, so in our Instant Pot, we are going to put 1 cup of water. And anytime you use your Instant Pot, you got to have some kind of liquid in there. Most of the time it's water, depending on what you're cooking, but you have to have at least a minimum of a cup of whatever liquid you're using, or you'll get a burn notice. So we're going to cook all these eggs together. You can use a basket. You just put them in there. They can touch, be on top of each other or whatever. But I have this little gadget here that I like. It's actually two trays. I don't want to break them. That come apart. So if you don't need to make this many eggs and you only want to make this many eggs, or if you only want to do 2 or 3 eggs, you can do that. But again, you can put them in a basket. So then we'll set them inside on top of the water, and it shouldn't be touching the bottom. This has some, I usually don't put the eggs on first, but there we go. We'll put them in there. But yeah, you don't want your eggs or anything touching the bottom of the pot. So make sure whatever you are using has some feet. And then we're just going to take the lid, put it on there. Make sure it's in sealed mode. And then we will set it for 5 minutes. Now with pressure cookers, you have to let it come up to temperature and the pressure inside the pot. So when I say 5 minutes, it's really probably an average of like 10 to 15 minutes for this first section. So plan accordingly. So when this 5 minutes is up, it will beep down and tell me that it's done. Then I'll set another timer for 5 minutes and we'll wait for that natural release. Then we'll come up here and we'll release it and then put it in the ice bath and we'll be ready to go. All right, now that the 5-minute cook and the 5-minute natural release is done, we're gonna hit it to venting and let it finish releasing all the pressure and steam inside. And then we're gonna put our eggs in our ice bath for 5 minutes. All right, again, always be careful when switching this from sealed to venting, because the steam will come out and it'll burn you. And even when you open this, you're going to see some steam. And if you want to get a facial, you can, but I would advise against it. So hopefully your Instant Pot comes where you can just set your lid on the side, but if not, just put it off to the side. So now we're going to take the eggs from the Instant Pot. Some of them have cracked, which you can see here, which is fine. They're still going to be good. We're just going to place them in this ice bath I have sitting here. And they're going to rest in here for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and peel them. This is hot, so again, be careful. I'll see you back in 5 minutes. Just making sure they're submerged. All right, now that the 5-minute ice bath is done, we're going to take the eggs and we're going to crack them, peel them. I like to roll it a little bit. They seem to come off easier. Get all the shells off. I usually make a few more eggs than I actually need in case the shells do stick. You know, you want them to look pretty on your platter. Sorry, I got some shell on my fingers. And then we're just going to cut them in half, pop out the yolks, put them on our little tray here. And another tip is if you have like really dark green around your yolk, they usually say that means it's overcooked. But usually this 5-5-5 method gives you perfect eggs each time. So I'll show you one more, and then we'll come back after I finish peeling them all. See how easy that shell came off? I mean, we can dry that a little bit if we want. Cut it in half. Pop out the yolk. Put it on our tray. See, like if you have one, like this one has an indent in it. So if you have that, you can always make that be the bottom of one of yours so it's not showing. And if you ever get like little shells, that's why I like to keep the water nearby and rinse my fingers or the egg itself to get the shells off. So next, again, cut it in half, plop it in the bowl. See what I just told you to do and I didn't do? See how the indents on the side there? So these can become our testers. Look how easy the shell comes off. Slides right out. And if you don't like deviled eggs or you have some leftover eggs, you can use that same 5-5-5 method and then use the eggs and just make yourself some egg salad. The bottoms of these were a little too wet for me, so I'm just going to dry them off and put them back, wipe this down and then put them back. All right, so the first step is to take the egg yolks and mash them into a very fine little mash. I like to use the side of the bowl and a fork. And when you're near the end, like scoop it around a little, because sometimes, as you see, you have some bigger pieces that were hiding under there. And you don't want that at the end. You just want to get them as small as you can. Look like yellow sand. Should be good enough. All right, now I'm going to add some mayonnaise. So depending on how many eggs you make, depends on what ingredients you put in. So again, you can always add more, but you can't take away, so be a little conservative. I put in this many. Start out with a big, almost 2 heaping tablespoons. And I can already tell I'm going to need some more. All right, so I just added a little bit more mayonnaise. You want it to be a smooth consistency. So you can use the back of your spoon and like mush it around the side of the bowl. Help get some of the lumps out. All right, let's see, we're almost there. You see, you just take your spoon and push it up against the side. If you see any big lumps, a little lumps are fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. All right. So now we're going to season it up. Got some pepper going on. You know how I like the pepper. You can use white pepper if you don't want to see the black flakes in there. Some salt. Salt and pepper go great with eggs. I will do a generous squirt of the yellow mustard. You can use Dijon mustard. Use any kind of mustard that you want. The ground stone mustard. You can even use the dry mustard if you don't have any of the wet mustard. Oops. And we like it sweet. So we're going to use a little bit of sweet relish, about that much. And again, we're going to taste this and make sure it tastes good. And again, I can't stress enough, you can always add more, but you can't take it out. So we'll sprinkle a little paprika in here. I usually use this just for the topping, but it also has a slight little like chili flavor. If you didn't know what paprika was, it was just dried chili peppers, but they're not spicy. All right, so it looks about like this. So now we're going to taste it. Just pour a little bit. Needs more salt. I feel like every recipe I say that needs more salt. Add a little bit more mustard. I think it needs a little more tang. It is deviled eggs after all. It'll bring out the devil in me. All right, let's test it one more time. Perfect. So you just take a spoonful and you're going to take your white. Go ahead and fill it up, put it back in. And we're going to do that all the way around. And our last one. And I like to garnish it with the paprika. So you just take, spread it, sprinkle it, not spread it. Sprinkle it all over the top. Use as much or as little or none at all. Everybody likes a little color, right? And then I also like to take a little sweet pickle and I cut it very thin and put that on the top of some of them. Sometimes you can put, if you put bacon in them, you can put like a little piece of bacon on top. I mean, it's your recipe, your rules. You do what you want. You know what your family likes, or if you want to try a new way of doing it. I'm only going to do half because I don't know if everybody wants an extra little crunch on top, but I know I do. And now the taste. Now some people in my family just put the whole thing in their mouth. I'm not going to do that for you guys today, but here goes. It's delicious. My favorite deviled egg recipe. I would recommend chilling these in the refrigerator for at least an hour before you serve them. And they're good to make ahead too. You can make them for the next day. Just make sure you cover them completely so the eggs don't dry out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thumbs up. All right, bonus tip. Before I put them in the fridge, I just put a couple toothpicks so it'll hold the saran wrap on top of the platter so it doesn't get into that delicious deviled egg mixture that we just put on there. Oops, come on. So as you see, this will land on the toothpicks and not our wonderful deviled eggs. I'll put a sheet that way and a sheet this way because you don't want any air getting in there. And we'll store this in the fridge until we're ready to eat them. Yum! Which means you cook it 5 times. We have a 5...
Keep going.
No. No. Cook it 5 times.